Shalom and good day all. This is Tehillim29 back again for some indie comic reviews, and for these indie comic reviews I'll be covering Gatchaman, the next issue, issue 19, followed by the next issue of Racer X. I'll now get things ready and organised for the first one I'll be reviewing. So first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? It certainly does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Next is the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, the middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening with the characters, or the cast of characters with the Science Ninja team. So, as the story begins, we catch up with the Science Ninja team as they are also taking on a next big bad, in this case being a bit of a bug of sorts, and we have the characters known as the Ascendancy here. As the story continues, we get the reintroduction of the Blackbirds once again, which are connected to Galactor. And last but not least, towards the end, to which the Ascendancy have decided to move on until they're ready to come back into the picture again. For the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Next is the area of the story rating. So first things first, considering how far we are issue-wise, did we get any comic book references? No, we didn't. Next is the area of time. Now, if you remember with this story, it actually had a bit of a countdown of sorts. So it went from 2 days to 1 day. So it finally moved into the last day. Last but not, the last couple of things that need to be covered are the location. So we get to see some mountains, or so we get to see a mountain range in one particular case. And last but not least, the cast of characters consisting of Galactor, the Science Ninja team, the Blackbirds, and of course the Phantom Ascendancy. My overall rating for the story is a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Racer X. So, as we move into Racer X, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? In some essence it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Next is the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, the middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So, as the story begins, we're hearing how many people are trying to point out that Racer X is mentally unstable, within this story, trying to make him out like a big bad character, when in fact he's a bit of an ally to Speed Racer. And we have the group of Alpha Automotive also trying to do whatever they can to sort of like take out the racers as well as Speed Racer. So basically the racers as well as any of their allies. We get to see a little bit more take place in relation to Racer X, or Rex, until we see them both back on the speedway once again. And one thing I do want to point out is that you do actually get to see a bit of a fantasy type sequence with Rex with his brother Speed Racer. So basically imagining a time to which, if he was able to sort of like grow up alongside his brother, that, and it was also shown in the thumbnail, which I thought was really good, and I thought I was actually going to end up covering it when I still can. Alright, this is a bit of a flashback of sorts, but in this flashback, he's sort of like picturing himself with his younger brother Speed Racer. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Next is the area of the story rating. So do we get anything time-wise? No, we don't. Next is the location. So we get Alpha Automotive. Last but not least, we have the cast of characters consisting of Rex, Racer, who is Racer X, along with Speed Racer, who we see in the story, plus whoever is running Alpha Automotive right now. My overall rating for the story is a 7 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.